Good morning. This is going to be the weekly twin flame reading. I am a little hoarse. I think maybe it might be allergies. I spent like 3 days at the park over the weekend doing a festival. So I really had to recuperate yesterday. I'm still pretty tired today, but I did have lots of clarity and lots of downloads over the weekend that I did want to incorporate into my videos. So I was very excited about doing that. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get started with this twin flame reading because I'm very excited about these messages. All right, so the first card that we have is the Sorceress. And basically the energy that I'm getting with this card, this has to do with manifestation. And a lot of times on this journey, people tell us that we can manifest our twin flame. And if you're new to my channel, I don't do twin flame readings like other people do. If you have come here to find out what your divine partner is or isn't doing, or what they're doing with their karmic partner or anything like that, you've come to the wrong place. Because what I do is I focus on you. Because if you are the one watching this, then you are the energy that is pushing out on your twin flame, which is why they're not with you now. And so I try to give some insight and some clarity, and I also try to dispel some myths too, because I also am a divine twin flame. I am in divine union now. We are grounding this into the physical right now. That's the part of my journey that I'm on, is grounding that 5D energy. So with that being said, what I wanted to say with this Sorceress card is this is all about manifesting. And so you might hear a lot on this journey about how to manifest twin flame union. In twin flame union, you cannot manifest per se. I do have a lot of videos where I talk about the law of attraction, and I do teach how to manifest. But with the twin flames, you cannot manifest yourself. That makes no sense. Once you can resonate with the fact that basically your twin flame is like your shadow side. You are the same soul, the same shared energy. So they directly reflect back to you, your energy. That is their sole purpose. Their sole purpose is to show you what parts of yourself you have denied, and whatever you have hidden in your shadow side that needs to come to the surface, that needs to be released. So with that being said, stop blaming your twin flame for everything, because when you do that, you're blaming yourself. So direct that blame to yourself. Be like, look, but be kind to yourself. It's not so much like blame, but it's like, stop blaming altogether, okay? But just look at it. Look at whatever comes up, because like I said, you are one shared energy. But as far as the manifestation goes, the key, the absolute key to being with your twin flame is, one, doing your work. So if they show you something, instead of blaming them, hating them, running around telling everybody about how bad they're treating you, look at what they're showing you, because this is not a romance. It's not a romance. This is not about romance at all. Now, can you be in a physical relationship with your twin flame? Yes, if your soul so chooses to. Because believe it or not, you could do all this work and your soul could still decide that you're not ready yet, that you need to maybe be with a soulmate for a while instead, or maybe this lifetime you'll be with a soulmate, and that's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, not everybody is supposed to be with their twin flame right now, because it is a special kind of relationship. It's not like other relationships. If you're looking for a fairy tale, this is not it. Because it takes a lot of balancing. Even after you go into union, you have to keep that energy balanced all the time. Otherwise, they will appear to leave. They will appear to ghost you again. They will appear to run off with someone else. And why do they appear to do these things? Because if your energy is not balanced and you have not done your work, then you will fear that they will. And if you fear that they will, guess what they'll show you? They're here to show you your fears. So the key to being with your twin flame is releasing those fears, because otherwise that is what you're going to keep manifesting. But once again, that's all right, because guess what? That's what this is for. We have the breach, the whale breach card. And whenever I get this card, I always think about like a loyalty breach or like a breach in trust. I can read this other ways, but basically that's what I'm getting with this card. A lot of times on the twin flame journey, like I said, we feel like our twin flame is not loyal to us. Our twin flame lies to us, isn't faithful, all these things that we believe but understand. Once you can get to the point of enlightenment, you will see that it's always been the two of you, two ends, two opposite ends of the same energy. Look at it as a battery, like the positive and the negative side. So you've always been together. I mean, that's where I'm at right now. And this isn't something like this miraculous, like spiritual union where like it happens. What it is you wake up from your soul amnesia and realize that you've always been together and that you were sleeping beauty, and your twin flame woke you up out of your sleep. And so all of these things that appear to be happening in the 3D are all simulated experiences that you are simulating. You are. Your twin flame isn't doing anything, because if you're watching this video, then you are the one that is creating all of these situations by the stories that you're telling yourself. And your twin flame is the energy, kind of like the puppet at the end of the strings. So to blame them for something, like once again, you have to look at yourself, because you are the one that is creating these experiences. So stop feeling like you're the victim and that your twin flame is doing things to you, that they're disloyal, because you know what? How can they not be loyal when they are you? So, you need to ask yourself, in what ways are you not being loyal to yourself? What ways have you lied to yourself? Because that's basically what you're dealing with right now. And that's the reason why the twin flame relationship is a special relationship, because your soul, if you're truly on a twin flame journey, because not everybody is, that means your soul was ready for this type of experience. And I know it can be, a lot of the stuff that happens can be very, very painful. And the reason why it's so painful is it's because it's your own soul showing you your deepest, darkest things about yourself that you have denied. That's why it's so painful. And the soul longs to be with itself. And that's why it's so much more intense than any other relationship you've ever been in. We have the High Priestess. So basically the message that's coming through with this card, because lately I've been channeling messages. I haven't just been reading the energy. Like, I've literally been channeling messages, and it's beautiful. It's a new gift. And that's another thing. If you are truly on a twin flame journey and not just obsessed with your ex, because there are a lot of people on this so-called, like in these twin flame circuits, that are just obsessed with their ex, that are not on a twin flame journey. And how do you know if you're truly on a twin flame journey? Oh, you cannot deny it, because you will go through changes like you have never been through in your life. You will have tower moments of things that come crashing down that you're like, man, I feel like I've lost everything. I know I did. And the reason why is because my soul was clearing out things that no longer resonated with me. And I'm waking up from my soul amnesia and remembering who I am. So that's how you know if you are truly on a twin flame journey or not. And that is the message that I'm getting from this card. If you are on this twin flame journey, understand it's because your soul recognized the fact that you were ready. And so in that sense, if you can look at it as more of a gift and remove the romance part of it, and have trust and faith and believe that everything that is happening is being divinely guided, it becomes more magical. It's not so much of a struggle. To clarify the card, we have the Moon card. And you could be dealing with a Cancer, whoever's watching this. The Moon, to me, this Moon card, this right here almost reminds me of like yin and yang. Because It's those two parts that are coming together, or that are already together, but you have to wake up and remember that you're already together. The physical part, anything that's going on in the physical are the illusions, because you're always together, because you can't be away from yourself, like literally start seeing the physical form of your twin flame as yourself. And once you do that, you stop being mad at them for things. You stop blaming them for everything. You stop feeling miserable like, man, I don't have them. I want them and I don't have them. Why can't I have what I want? I don't know how many times I've screamed at the universe. Why can't I have what I want? Because it is your shadow side, your physical form of your twin flame's job to deny your ego. Because if you had what you... Think about it, okay? This message has came through for me so many times over the past 2 weeks. Anytime it appears that he's coming through more and more in the physical for me, this used to be like we're balancing and we're grounding this into the physical now. That's where I'm at in my journey, because the physical is always last. It's all because it's more challenging, because you're dealing with illusions. These are the illusions. And you've got to be able to, okay, like let's say, for example, you're together, like living together and together. And, and for some reason, a fear pops up. And that fear pops up, and so you automatically go into lower energies. This could be, maybe you're overworking, maybe you're tired, you're sick, and, for some reason you're lower vibrational right now, and you start fearing again. Well, once it appears like, the physical form of your twin flame is doing something that they're not supposed to, well, I say not supposed to be doing. I use that term lightly. I'm using air quotes. Then you have to be able to see through that illusion and tell yourself shit is not even real. And look away and stop focusing your attention on it, and it'll go away. And so that's the reason why the twin flame relationship is not like other relationships, because you are together in the fifth dimension, simulating experiences that aren't real. So you have to be aware of that. And once you're aware of that, it changes the game. But what I was saying about mine when he comes in, and I'm doing better with this now, is he would come in and I'd be all happy, and then I would stop doing my spiritual work, because it's like, well, I got him. And then he'd go right back out again, and then I would be like, okay, it's time to do my work again. It's kind of like that energy of, somebody is like, kind of like that jailhouse talk, or somebody's in jail and all of a sudden they found God and religion and everything else. And then when their feet hit the street, when they finally get what it was that they were trying to get, then they were like, right back to their old ways. Is that kind of energy. So that's the reason why physical is last, because you really do have to be very balanced. And you can't be doing this for physical union. You can't be. Because if you're doing it for that reason, guess what? It's not going to happen. Alchemy, and you know what? That is exactly what this journey is about. This journey is not about romance. It's not about getting the boy or the girl. What it is about is, like I said, you waking up from your soul amnesia, facing your fears as you are shown your fears, facing them, transmuting them back into love. And how do you do that? Like, let's say, for example, the physical form of your twin flame does something. I'm trying to think of something that mine's done. God, he's done so much. Okay, let's say, for example, the physical form of your twin flame ghosts you, and you don't hear from him for like a week, or her for a week. I follow my spiritual guidance now. And if my spiritual guidance is, I am not to make contact, then I don't. Because where I'm at now is I actually am speaking directly to and it's hard to explain. Okay, I have the fifth dimensional part of my twin flame who is my shared soul energy, and we communicate. And since I've connected to that, I will know directly what to do or not do. I will hear something like, you know what, this time right now that you're not hearing from him in the physical realm is so that you can work on things. What is, when you don't hear from him for like 2 or 3 days, how does that make you feel? Well, it makes me feel like I've lost him again, or he's ran off again. It triggers that fear of loss, that fear of rejection, all these things. Well, okay, that's what this is for, because you need this time to work through those things. So then I'm like, you know what? Whereas I would have been mad, now I can look at it as, you know what, and I'm talking directly to his higher self. So I know that's what this is. And I know that I can't lose him, so I'm not scared of it anymore. And I'm looking at it in a more loving way, because now I see that it's for me. It's not to hurt me. So that is how you transmute fears. You look at it in a higher vibrational way. And when you do that, oh, you will really shift then. Trust me. Like, that is the energy, the magic energy to help awaken your gifts and to remember past lives, and I call them timelines, but all these past life memories come back to you. And you connect with soul family. That is the magic energy once you start transmuting, because that alchemy is exactly what this journey is for. That's what it's for. And you feel so much better. We have the Lady Goddess, feminine energy. I have talked a lot about what love is and what love isn't. And that's the other purpose of this journey, to learn what love is. Any time I have expectations of the physical form of my twin flame, he has no choice but to leave. He can't stay in that type of vibration. And these are expectations around coming in, fulfilling me, making me happy. Once, I have the physical form of my twin flame and we're in physical union, I can finally be happy. That type of energy. And so whenever I do that, he can't be around. And that is the energy that I'm getting with this card. Plus, I people watched over the weekend. I had the festival over the weekend. I did a lot of people watching. And I have been doing people watching for the past week. And I really observed relationships, because, you have to look outside the 3D box of what human beings expect a relationship to be like, because we're here to transcend that. That is what you volunteered to do. And since you volunteered to do it, it has to start within your own twin flame connection. You can't have a 3D relationship, a typical 3D relationship with your twin flame, because you can't be together if you have any of those type expectations. I saw so many relationships over the weekend with women who, I'm going to try to explain the energy. It was almost like that henpecked energy of, I don't know if they teach girls this in charm school or what. I think I was absent that day they passed these lessons out, because I don't know how to do that. But, there are women that really know how to land a husband. They really do. They know how to land a husband, and then, because they're just, so feminine and charming or whatnot. Then when they get into that marriage, it's all about nagging and, really being the powerhouse in the family, as far as, it's that whole, I'm going to bitch and nag and complain and just be a brat until I get my way. And, this is a very controlling, empowering energy, man. And then, in this type of situation, ends up being for comfort, security, money. And then, you know, a lot of times the man does not feel respected or loved or cared for. And so before you know it, what's he out doing? Because he has so many restrictions and so many rules and so many expectations of him. And we're taught as a society that that is what a marriage is supposed to look like. Now, twin flames are here to dispel these myths, to show the entire universe what love really looks like. So that is the energy I'm getting with this card right here. It's got to be more of a balance. And I'm not saying, you know, because once you're in that energy of being in a balance and not having expectations of your twin flame, guess what? They're going to be so loyal to you, because why would they want to be with somebody else who puts these restrictions on them? That's the reason why when they appear to be with a karmic, remember you're simulating this, which is why you need to stop focusing on it so it can move out of the way. Think about it. You know, as you raise your vibrations, you're doing the work for both of you. How could they possibly stay in that lower of a vibrational situation? I have the Patience card, and usually when I get this card when I'm doing a twin flame reading, I'm like, oh, this is that waiting energy. You know, you're not supposed to be waiting, but that is not the energy I'm getting this time. The energy that I'm getting is faith. Really having faith. You have to fall back, and I'm telling you, the magic energy on this twin flame journey is lighten up and stop taking everything so personally and go with the flow, and understand that your soul wants to be with itself as much as you want that. So with that being said, your soul is going to lead you there. Your soul is going to take you to where you need to be at. You know, and you're going to be, so, by the time you do this work, you're going to be so balanced and so comfortable with the fact that you know that you are your twin flame and that you're always together, that you're not even going to care about physical union, because you're going to be so much in the 5D that really what's happening in the 3D doesn't matter anyway. And so that is that faith, that deep faith, because to clarify this card, we have, when I lean on certainty and faith, I change my mind about the world that I see. Having soul recognition with your twin flame is the first step to ascension. You're not going to be anywhere close to being an ascended master to where you can move objects with your mind and you can teleport. I mean, I was hearing that shit in twin flame groups. I had to leave all my twin flame groups, you know, just because in order to have that type of power, you have to be an ascended master. And this is, and I'm not taking away from being a twin flame, because everyone is and has a twin flame, but everyone is not on a twin flame journey. You know, some people might not even have a twin flame journey in this lifetime. It possibly will be the next. But this is just a small part of ascension. And until you can ascend to the point that you can be in a physical relationship with your twin flame and not trigger one another and stay balanced for the most part in a 3D world, you got a long way to go before you can teleport and before you can move objects with your mind, is all that I'm saying. Now, you know, different gifts could come, you know, awaken like, you know, like mine did. But, you know, as far as any type of divine mission that you and your twin flame are on together, you know, we're probably a few lifetimes away from that before that can happen, because we have to be able to even have a physical relationship first without, like I said, without all the triggering. We have the 8 of C's, depletion. And so basically, the energy that I'm getting with this is that do fill your own cup. Stop looking for your twin flame to provide anything for you whatsoever, including romance. You know, I don't know how many times I have seen people on this journey sitting around for years waiting on their twin flame to come through. Not dating, not doing anything, like just waiting. You know, and that could be some of this energy here too, that waiting energy, because there's almost always waiting energy in a twin flame reading. And whenever you're waiting for something, you're acknowledging the fact that you don't have that. And when you come from that other end of the stick, the scarcity, not the abundance end, but the scarcity end, and that's the energy that you're in, guess what? You know, you're acknowledging the fact that you're not together when you are. But, you know, you are one soul, okay, with two opposite ends that just happen to be in two different bodies that you're balancing enough so that you could be in a physical relationship. But once you get that balanced enough, you know what? You could see whoever you want to see. Because you no longer have that thirst, that longing. Because those are fears. Those are fears of separation, the illusion of separation, the illusion of duality when there is none. You're actually one soul that came here to experience human experiences. And so the very fact that you're not having these experiences is keeping what you want the most away, and that is union with your twin flame, because you have to experience things. And the very fact that you would not want your twin flame to experience different experiences as well is a major block, because that is having expectations of them to only be yours and loyal, okay, and not go anywhere. It was that energy I was talking about a few minutes ago, about, you know, like these women that, like, look, you're mine, you're not going anywhere, I don't want you looking at anyone else, I don't want you talking to anyone else. Those are all fears, and as long as you're in that fear-based energy at all, your twin flame cannot be there. And you know what? Actually facing those fears and releasing those fears and expectations and rules and requirements that you have in a relationship, raise your vibrations within your relationship with your twin flame to the point that they can't go anywhere. Why would they ever want to be in a lower vibrational situation? Why would they want to go back to a situation like this when they can be with you and feel free? See, that is the paradox. And I mean, I don't know how many times all I have to do is post something on Facebook about how human beings were never meant to be monogamous. And I'm telling you what, 10 women comment, how do you want your man to go fuck around with other women and you're going to go fuck around with other people? You know what? I never even said that. Because for one thing, my sexual energy is precious to me, and I don't just give it to anybody. It has to be earned. Most of the time I practice celibacy when I'm not with my twin flame. I have had a couple lovers, but once again, it's really hard to be with somebody who's lower vibrational when you yourself are higher vibrational. It's really hard because you're not in alignment. But all I have to do one time is say that human beings were never meant to be monogamous and people have a fit. I'm like, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is once you take away the rules and restrictions and you are two free beings, free to do whatever you want to do, the paradox is that most of the time people don't, because that's all they ever wanted. I know rules make me very contrary. I don't have rules. You know what? I just move different. Embrace through each other. You will find them. Embrace through each other. You find the missing pieces. Okay, so the energy that I'm getting with this is that the key to this journey is to start embracing yourself and to start focusing on yourself, because guess what? As long as you're focused on them, they're going to focus on anything but you. But when you focus on yourself, guess what? That opposite end, that like other end of the battery, the other polarity has no choice but to come back towards you and focus on you. I mean, if you can't resonate with anything else in this video, resonate with the fact that you show your twin flame how you want to be treated by the way you treat yourself. Are you rejecting yourself? Are you ignoring yourself? Are you putting your twin flame before yourself? And then get mad when they don't reciprocate. Well, you know what? This is energy. This is quantum physics. If you start looking at the twin flame connection as quantum physics instead of a romantic fairy tale, you will go a lot further. And so, yes, you are two pieces of a puzzle that's already together. But you yourself have to remember that. You have to wake up to that fact. Sorry, this video is going to be a little lengthy, but I had a lot of messages come through. Ace realization. The majority of this journey, in fact, all of it, is clarity, is downloads of information from spirit. If you are not meditating, if you are not connecting to your spirit guides, if you are not learning how to connect to your own soul energy, then you're not going to make any progress on this journey. And do not get your spiritual information from memes on Facebook or Instagram. Please don't. Please go directly to source energy and access your own knowledge that you have within. Everything you need for this journey, you already have. It's been provided for you. Every experience you've had up until this point has prepared you for this. You just really just need to know how this journey works so that you can navigate it. And that's what I do. I tell people how to navigate. When I focus on my inner light, I see the world through the lens of love. Once you start putting yourself first and ask yourself daily, what do I need today? What do I need? Instead of, I used to send all these care packages to the physical form of my twin flame. I used to fret about him. You know, what's he doing? Is he doing this? Is he doing that? Is he all right? And, you know, once I stopped doing that and I started focusing on myself, I really did connect to myself on a soul level. I got to know myself on a soul level. And then I got to trusting my inner guidance, my inner knowing, my inner knowledge. And that is how I found him. Not his physical form, but him. Because he was right there. Okay, we have wine. And we have a book. I believe very strongly that this this wine, it's affiliated with this card here, with this alchemy. You know, you think about Jesus changed water into wine. And how did he change water into wine? He believed he could, and he looked at, instead of looking at it as water, he saw it as wine. That is how we manifest. We manifest by how we look at things differently. And you have to believe the stories you're telling yourself. So if you were telling yourself a story, make sure you tell yourself a higher vibrational story, because that story is what you've been aligning to because you believe it. Because Jesus, who was one of the ascended masters, believed that he could change water into wine. He no longer saw it as water. He saw it as wine. And that is all alchemy is. Sorry, my neighbors are making a lot of noise. They're like the loudest people in the world. It's terrible. I'm just glad they waited a little bit later in the day to get started. Okay, so this book right here, to me, is that book of knowledge. You know, so many times I hear people talk about the Akashic records. Have you accessed the Akashic records? Yeah, I have. I meditate. I connect to my soul energy. My soul energy has everything I need. All of the knowledge that it's ever been and ever will be. And all of those experiences are happening all at the same time, because time doesn't exist. There's only energy. So the Akashic records is you. You are the Akashic records. You can access your ancient records anytime that you want. I happen to be very good at this. This is like one of my specialty areas, is helping people connect to their Akashic records. I have been in touch with a lot of my different past lives, or timelines as I like to call them. I'll probably do my past life reading today. I do a past life reading. It's been a couple weeks since I've done one. But just like I received clarity last week that the karmic that I had created in my mind for my divine partner, because, I created her in my mind. She was soul family. Because you understand, we simulate these experiences. That's the reason why they're not real. I mean, it's just energy. They're just, like holograms, just like illusions. But she had a part to play because there was karma that had to be played out. Because sometimes in past lives we'll have unfinished business that carries over onto other timelines. And the information that had came to me, the downloads of clarity that had came to me, was that she, in a past timeline, had been married to my twin flame. And I was their child. And I don't know all the details, but something had happened to where I had died as a child, and he had blamed her. And so there was that karma that had to be played out, because I noticed, like, the whole time the two of them had this, like, or appeared to understand, it's an illusion that I created in my mind. But when they had this, like, awful love affair that lasted like 3-4 months, early last year, about killed me. That was a hot mess. I'm talking about, it was drama. It was like ridiculous. But that had to play out that way. Because it was karma to be settled. But not one time did she ever come for me. Not one time. And so I found that interesting. And then when I received this confirmation, I knew why she never came for me the whole time the two of them went through their shit. That was, very traumatic and dramatic, that had to play out. But and the reason why it went on for 4 months, I'm going to tell you this, and then I'm going to read this postcard oracle. The reason why it lasted 4 months was because I kept talking about it. I kept crying about it. I kept complaining about it. Every time he would call me and be like, I love you, I miss you, I'd be like, call that bitch. I kept it going. And I have talked about this before, but it would have been over almost instantly if I would have known then what I knew now about energy and about how it all came to be to begin with. So I'm trying to save you a lot of time. I mean, I realize time doesn't exist. There's only energy. So let me say that I'm trying to save you a lot of energy, a lot of heartache, by seeing through the illusions. All right. Dear you, do you feel like you need to do all of the work and fix everything for everyone, or you might have no value? Maybe you think you need to control everything, or else nothing will get done, be healed, be completed, etc. You may think you need to conform to what others expect of you, or choose a course of action to manipulate an outcome. But we don't think that would be a good choice. How about this? Even if it makes you temporarily uncomfortable, do something different. Set that boundary. Delegate responsibility to another. Ask for your needs to be met. And when faced with an impossible situation or sticky, enmeshed relationship, repeat this mantra. I didn't cause it, I can't control it, and it's not my job to cure it. Then carry on. Feels good, doesn't it? The best part of everything is everything just seems to work out beautifully and honestly in the end. Love you so, so much. So I do feel like some of you guys are still dealing with, like, possibly dealing with karmic partners of your own. And so, having boundaries, because I know karmic relationships can be very, very messy. I was in one for 20 years, trust me. But understand it, once again, it's all kind of preparing you. And the other message that's coming through for this is, do not apply any type of 3D conditioning, fear-based thinking, anything like that to the twin flame connection. Because when you do that, you will never, ever, ever get anywhere, because you're trying to fit it into a 3D box, and it's not. Because you've got to remember, it's not about romance. It's not a fairy tale. This is about you waking up from your soul amnesia and facing your fears and returning to your authentic self. So with that being said, if anyone would like to have a twin flame reading, they're $50. I can let you know what's blocking you, where you're at on your journey, what you need to work on. I know all journeys are individual because, you know, you wrote this yourself. But I can give you an idea because universal truths are still the same, regardless of the journey that you're on right now. I mean, some things are going to differ from mine, but like the truth of the matter of, you know, the whole purpose of the journey is going to stay the same. So thank you for watching.